In this video, we talk about how as an emerging filmmaker, you can create spec commercials, build out a portfolio, and start making money. This is Let's Make Movies, the channel dedicated to growing and sharing filmmaking experience. In the description below will be timestamps of the subjects that I'm going to cover in the video. Let's get started. When you're thinking about making a spec commercial, you want to start with asking yourself why. Some of the reasons I would want to make a spec commercial would be for proof of concept. If I have this really cool idea that I kind of want to build and make and see it visually, and to practice and to really kind of sharpen my skills as a filmmaker. Another reason could be is you want to be hired by said company. One of the things that you want to start thinking about is what do you shoot a spec commercial on? And what I always kind of start with is, what do I have access to? What are the things that I can gather and get cheaply that I have confidence that I can shoot this thing and make it look brilliant? Take inventory on things that you already have. That way you save cost, save time of acquiring whatever you're trying to make as a spec commercial. You want to ask yourself, what are the types of commercials I want to make? What are the industries and the products that you know? For me, my girlfriend, she was very into the aesthetic kind of industry. She started out in the makeup and hair industry, and she's kind of moved towards the jewelry making industry. So today, we're gonna show off how we can shoot something like this to match the commercial that I shot a few weeks ago. So some other things that I have access to. I have access to a garage. It's a little cluttered. Another thing that you want to take into consideration is setting. So how do you shoot a product? Well, I initially try to get rid of the background. So some tips when you are starting and creating a spec commercial is you want to get as close to the product as you can, especially for products like jewelry. So we're going to need some tools to show off the product. One of the tools that I used is I borrowed my grandma's Lazy Susan. Literally, a Lazy Susan. I kind of needed to get this project out right away, and so I didn't have time to go online and order a Lazy Susan right away. I should have already had one, but I know my grandmother had one, and so I called her up. She lives down the street, and I got it that day. All this cloth, actually, I got from Walmart a few weeks back for a different project entirely, the short film, and I was using it actually for the costume of the, well, you'll find out. I put one light on the side, trying not to light up the black muslin there. And then I have another light right here. And then I had another ring set to the side of it that was the same temperature as the ring up here. And I would mess with the lighting altogether. For starters, the muslin by itself looks good enough, but I wanted to kind of create a glossy reflection, mirrored look. And so I actually went inside and I found some old picture frames. I stole the glass from them and sat it right on top of the Lazy Susan covered in muslin. So I took my ring and I took the product, her ring that she's trying to sell, and kind of positioned it in a way that looked beautiful. Let's turn up the ISO. It doesn't have to be just the Cinema camera like the one that I have. You can use any camera for this sort of setup. Grab your phone, put on Filmmaker Pro, set your exposure. You don't want to go too dark right away. You want to get as close as you can, create the look that you are going for. Small, constant movements are key for this sort of thing. Another really good rule of thumb when shooting spec commercials is low angle and 2 forms of movement. If you can move the camera in while it's rotating, or right as it's moving left in some sort of slider move, or a slow push while it's rotating, any sort of double movement looks really beautiful. And another thing that I experimented with was a kind of double exposure lens whacking kind of effect. So for a lens whacking effect, what you need is a camera and you need a lens. What you want to do is you want to take your lens and you don't want to fix it into the camera. You actually want to have a little bit of a gap. You want to create light leaks. You're up and shooting your product, you're letting in and you're manipulating the image sensor and the lens, and you're allowing light to kind of sneak past the edges of your camera. I love manipulating and using texture. This is part of it's not vinyl, it's actual wood, but this is what she used to put an epoxy part of that golden ring. So another thing that this allows you to do is build out the content for your portfolio. This is the video that you're gonna send out to get more work. Beautiful projects like jewelry, like product shots, like real estate, like travel to your local, if you have any landmarks or nationally known places in your place that you live, go there and shoot a travel sort of vlog, shoot some sort of cinematic travel video, cinematic commercial. Really try and level up the projects that you see going on around you. I know for a fact in my local, there are hundreds of people in Santa Fe, New Mexico that are out there selling and making jewelry. So my girlfriend can potentially not be the only jeweler that I can make a spec commercial for. And that's what you want to think about. You want to think about what are the businesses around you? What are the industries around you? And kind of cater your portfolio to that. I know that New Mexico is big on travel. I know that New Mexico is big on filmmaking and it's growing. So jewelry, travel, documentary work. It's okay to not have the best video. Choose the parts and the little vignettes of the best shots that you've gotten, and that's good enough. You got to imply that there's a bigger project behind those shots though. When you go out and you're starting to collect all these little pieces of projects, I'm not saying to go out and make a spec commercial every single time. I'm talking about making a spec commercial when you're not working on a project, when you're not working on a short film, when you don't have any gigs lined up. Go find a realtor, reach out to them and offer to just do a video for them for free, or if you know somebody that has a nice house, ask them, can I shoot a realty kind of video in your house just real quick? I'm not gonna show any personal information or anything like that, just for my portfolio. Those asks are gonna take you all the way. Anything and everything that you can do, filmmaking, you can add to your portfolio. Even sound design. Sound design can be added to your portfolio. Editing can be added to your portfolio. You can go out, find clients, and start making a little bit more money. One of the platforms that I'm going to be testing out here in the next few weeks is Fiverr, believe it or not. So Fiverr, you can create a profile on there and you can sell different skills. You can sell editing, audio mastering. I'm gonna also offer getting pickup shots and B-roll places in New Mexico. There are a slew of ways that you can go out and utilize this portfolio that you're building. In the link description below will be it's gonna be an affiliate link. So if you do hire anybody on Fiverr, or if you sign up for Fiverr, I'm gonna get a little bit of a kickback. Or below that is going to be my profile to Fiverr. And if you would like me to edit any videos of yours or pick up shots of yours, please feel free to reach out to me and test out my service. See what is going on. For the first 20 people that click and hire me, I'm going to have a severely discounted price. But that's only for 20 people. So click on the link and hire me if you're going to, as soon as you can. Setting up a freelance business online, make sure that you're putting out, your Make sure you're putting together a portfolio website. Don't just send them a Google Drive folder with great videos. You want to have an actual website with a good presentation. You want to make sure that you do a little bit of research and find out what are the best, most used freelancing platforms, like Fiverr, like Upwork, like Freelance, stuff like that. Look into those platforms and see if maybe you can start selling your service as a filmmaker on these platforms. You are in control of your destiny. YouTube isn't going to pay the bills, at least not in the beginning. So affiliate marketing, creating content, making movies, building your portfolio. My portfolio is going to consist of doing weddings, documentary work, commercial work, and my narrative work. And so that's kind of the direction that I want to go with my career. That was Let's Make Movies. Listen, this was fun. I'm gonna keep it rolling. If you guys have any questions or have any suggestions on the topics that I should start covering, I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth on the business side of filmmaking and pre-production, production, and post-production work. I'm gonna go into pretty extensively. So subscribe, stick around, see what I can come up with. Listen, I've got more. This is going to be a fantastic year. Thank you guys for watching.